when they went into the studio for Vulgar, they always had the work ethic was pretty intense. They didn't mess around. They worked hard. They worked long. They knew what they wanted to do, and my job was to make sure that we stayed on track, I guess. And I was just there to help them, keep the tires on the road, kind of. They knew what they wanted to do, and Dime would have riffs, or Vinny would have a drum pattern, or Rex would have something, and they would come in with a basic idea, and we would sit and we'd work on that, starting from the beginning of the song. And these are the days of tape, so we would put on a reel of tape, and we'd record an intro to a song, and until we were happy with it in a demo stage, and then we would punch in the next section of the song until we were happy with it, and we would continue through the arrangement of the song, writing as we went. And when we had it what we thought was right in a demo phase like that, just punching through it, rough editing all the way through it, then we would make a rough mix and we'd go drive around with it. But our hours were, we 12, 13, 14, maybe longer. I remember a lot of sunrises on that record. Dime was a perfectionist. Tone was a big deal, although when we spoke of tone in the studio, it usually was referring to if somebody didn't smell good. But but the tone, his ability to hear minute things and sounds was pretty incredible. We would many times make mixes where I would raise a fader the width of one pencil mark, just a minute amount, because he could hear it a little louder. And I was thinking that nobody could hear this, but then I'd play it back for him with the different versions, and he got it right every time. He knew exactly what he wanted to hear. And my job was to try to interpret what he heard. But he did have an amazing sense of sound, and he was kind of tortured by the fact that he always was going for something, and we could never quite find it 100%. Rex has always been one of my favorite bass players, tone-wise and performance-wise. He would get mad at me for sometimes, it's hard to get the bass to come through those guitars sometimes. But Rex and I are still good friends, and we talk pretty regularly. And I didn't know how good he really was until a few years after we'd stopped working together. And I did a recording with him, a separate recording, and it kind of blew me away at how good his tone was, how dialed in he was to the nuances of a bass tone, which is very difficult in this kind of music to really have definition, because lots of times it's just the low octave of the guitars. So it's hard to get that sound to come out. And he had an amazing ability to make that, to make his tone complement and stand out also. Phil never broke chairs in anger. We always had a lot of fun. Of course, doing vocals of any kind is stressful, but we had as much fun as we could with it. Some of the vocals, like on Hostile, he did his vocals in the control room with me, and on a handheld mic. And when it was all distorted, of course, on purpose. And when we were done with the vocal take, he just took the mic and threw it into a garbage can next to the board that had a bunch of barbecue sauce and stuff on it, and it fed back, and that's the feedback that you hear at the end of that song. But that was, Phil was always, always for me a pleasure to. I mean, it was a lot of fun all the time. It was fun to work with those guys, all those guys. But Phil was, he knew what he wanted, and he didn't stop till he got where he wanted to go.